his wits, he would chop them to bits. He would never lose out in a fray. As he came to the village, the monster did pillage. The peasants did scatter and flee. What causes such fright? Fred asked when in flight. It's a beast, and it's now after me. Fred sent him on past, for he knew that at last this town was in need of his aid. His stomach was lean, and a freelance would seem of starvation was only afraid. The town elders he found, then he knelt to the ground. I can vanquish the monster this day. My shield and my sword will require no reward, but for me there's the matter of pay. The riches we've got don't amount to a lot, but we'll pay you whatever we can, and we'll make you a deal, the most sumptuous meal that was ever prepared for a man. Add a roof o'er my head, and your beast is as dead, and begin to prepare that meal soon. For it's 9 o'clock now, and I certainly vow that the beast will be dead before noon. They all wished him luck. Then he silently snuck to take the foul beast by surprise. Then he heard a loud roar, like he'd ne'er heard before, and the beast was before his own eyes. I cannot believe this is what I perceive. Does this beast keep the whole town at bay? He's the size of a hog, or perhaps a large dog. I'll make easy money this day. He circled round back to design an attack. He'll not take a full thrust of my sword. But still, thought the knight, I should keep out of sight. I can now almost taste my reward. Fred dreamt of potatoes and big red tomatoes and gravy on red juicy meat. As he thought of it proudly, his stomach quite loudly did growl from his longing to eat. The beast turned Fred's way, and it caught him at bay. His blade clambered onto the ground. Oh, the shame of it all! How could Sir Fred fall to a monster the size of a hound? As he ran from that place, Fred thought, to save face, I should not let them know that I lost. The beast merely fled. Yes, it ran from Sir Fred. But this battle won't be without cost. For he knew that the town would most certainly frown on his asking for money that day. The beast was not dead, so the mighty Sir Fred started quietly sneaking. Just then the beast roared twice as loud as before, and the peasants began to vamoose. What has happened to Fred? Perhaps he is dead, and the beast is again on the loose. As they ran far and wide, seeking some place to hide, one gentleman fell to the ground. But there, neath the stair, saw the curly brown hair of the freelance just crawling around. How? What's this I see? Did our great freelance flee? Do I see our brave knight run away? The man grabbed Sir Fred's leg, but the knight did not beg. He would stand his ground on this day. It is true I did run, for the fight I'd not won, and the beast overcame me with ease. But I'll now behave bravely. Fred said this quite gravely. I'll return and this monster I'll seize. Together they planned. Then the metalsmith man made for Fred an unbreakable sword. For they planned how the town could help bring the beast down, and they all could then share the reward. Then they fashioned a net. It was mighty, you bet, for to capture the hideous beast. And the men laid it down in the square of the town, and they were not afraid in the least. Then the mighty Sir Fred stood his ground at one edge, and he called to the troubadour beast, Come and show us your face, you old monstrous disgrace! Of your flesh will we fashion our feast. Though he did not appear, the beast's roar was quite near, and the townspeople hidden got scared. Just suppose Fred is killed, and the beast is not filled. Would we then be its hideous fare? Then the beast's evil breath, like the foul stench of death, did waft across Troubadour Square, and the beast did appear. Fred showed no fear, and to each other's eyes they did stare. The beast moved towards Fred, and the knight raised his head, for its path was across the great net. Sir Fred gave the signs, the men pulled on their vines, but the beast was still not captured yet. All the men in the town could not lift off the ground the bulk of this mongrel-sized beast. But the monster did fight, and did violently bite. He was not giving up in the least. Then with all of their backs, the men pulled up the slack, and the beast lifted off of the ground. Sir Fred flashed his sword. The monster was gored. Then it fell to the earth with a bound. To prove it was dead, Fred mounted its head, and he shouted to all who could hear, "Your beast I did gore, he'll attack you no more." And the whole town did let out a cheer. The monster now beaten, Fred's thoughts turned to eaten. The whole cheering town did agree, and a feast was prepared. 'Twas a delicious fare, and they feasted because they were free. The town elders gathered and told Fred, "We'd rather you'd stay and with us make your home." But Fred said, "My friends, your threat is at end, and I am a man who must roam. For you see I'm a knight, and I'm needed to fight. But you people have learned a great fact, that each can be brave, from a knight to a knave, if together in union you act." Fred picked up his pack, put his shield on his back, and headed off into the hills. And if monsters be there, then let them beware, for Sir Fred conquered all that would kill.